Hello, all, and welcome back to another episode of the GameTimeCT Pick'ems podcast. I'm your host, Chief Paguaga, and as always, I am joined by the Sean Patrick Bowley. Sean, this might have been the worst week of picks in the history of the picks.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. We were brutal. I was brutal. I can't talk about you. The rest of you guys finished 5-5. I was under 500. I only had 2 wins going in Saturday.
Yeah, you were 2-6 heading into Saturday. Dude, it was insane. The winners this week, 9 of us went 5-5. No one finished over 500.
Jeez. I was sure the 8 ball was going to be on top.
Absolutely. We whiffed. We all took Middletown, except for the 8 ball Bristol Eastern one. We all took ATI, except for Dave Stewart. He took Bullard Havens. Bullard Havens won. We all took Wilton. Fairfield, Ludlow won. McNamee had Ludlow. The majority of you took Holy Cross. 3 of us, myself included, had Watertown. We split on Granby Capital. We all took Sheehan won. Some people lost the Bunnell. A lot of people had Staples, and a lot of people had Brookfield. So those beginning games, Middletown, ATI, Wilton, sunk everybody early.
Yeah, it was bad. Bad, not good, but, the good news is we all did it. We all stunkers. I'm only in 4th place, tied for 4th now. It's not terrible, but I, need to make me come from ground ASAP. Like, hopefully that happens to Danny and Dave. And how are these guys, Pete? How are our bosses who don't see a game? Maybe because I read everything? Is that how simple it is? You just read everything?
Apparently so. Apparently you got to read everything. I try to read. I just run out of time. But I will tell you this. I picked the games for this week, and I picked the games for next week already because next week is so thin. So you do well these 2 weeks. I think you're if anyone could do well these next 2 weeks, you are in the driver's seat. I will say Bristol Eastern beat Middletown. The 8 ball was the only one to pick them. So this goes out on Thursday. So Bristol Eastern coach Anthony Julius, you should have received a toy 8 ball in the mail, like the one that I have here, congratulating the Lancers on their win. So if you got a photo, please send it. That'd be really cool. But great win for Bristol Eastern. I know Coach Julius is a big fan of the meat grinder and everything. So thank you to him for supporting us, and apologies for not supporting you and the Lancers because you guys showed us. But that's, I think, the 4th or 5th one this year. It seems like a lot. Yeah.
Lots of doubting going on by our school.
Yes, we are sleeping on a lot of teams.
We're sleeping on all of you.
Yeah, we're sleeping on all of them. All right, Sean, are you ready to do it again? Because this week's slate is not easier.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go to the CCC. We got East Hartford at 2-6 on the road to Hall, who is also 2-6. Both of these teams have some pretty good wins, pretty good players. Draven Roberts, we love on this show. Hall beat Glastonbury. Right, this is no slouch. Steve Markey we think is a very good coach. Obviously, he's in his first year. They took Southington to overtime. This is a good football team. They just have been on the other side of it. They beat Platt, and look, Hall's 2-6. Their wins are against Platt, who's 4-4. It's probably going to be 5-5 this year, or 6-4 at best. And Glastonbury 6-2. Those are 2 potential playoff teams that they beat. Then on the other side, East Hartford took care of Shelton. Down year for Shelton, and South Windsor, who is 2-6. Sean, who do you like in this one?
Well, East Hartford finally got off the schneid a bit and beat South Windsor 28-7. They can score with the best of them. Look at this. They scored 30 against Maloney. They scored 34 against North Haven. They scored 38 against Southington. They scored 26 against Glastonbury. All losses because the defense just can't stop anybody. Hall's kind of in the same spot. They've given up a lot of points, but in some of their wins, man. Glastonbury, where did that come from? 28-7-13. Southington, they've also given up some points too. I'm just going to go with Hall here because they've actually proven they can win a big game. Whereas, East Hartford hasn't. I doesn't mean I'm any confident in this pick. After last week, I'm not going to be confident in anything. I certainly could see East Hartford winning this 52-50. But I'm just going to go with Hall. I just kind of, I don't know. I feel like they're just because they've proven themselves so far. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm with you. That's my thought process as well. I'm going to go with Hall. I like their wins better than East Hartford wins. And, Hall was all on us because we didn't post a video over their win over Glastonbury, though we weren't there. So this is our love back to you, the Titans.
You guys can send us videos for us to put on the Instagram.
Exactly. All right.
Let's go searching for it, Guys.
Help us help you.
Yeah, help. Yeah. Another Jerry Maguire reference. There you go.
He's got to watch the meat grinder to get that one.
Yeah.
This is part 2. All right, to the CTC we go. We got Cheney Tech 6-2 going on the road to play Bullard Havens. Now, let me talk about Cheney Tech quickly. They were 6-0, shot out of the cannon. You're like, this team, whoo. Then they lost to ATI. Then they lost to Quinnipiac Valley. Now my head is I'm scratching my head a little bit going, maybe we're giving them a little too much love. Then on the other side, we got Bullard Havens, who maybe we're not giving any love to. This team, they got hype videos now. I watched their hype video before. It was all about beating ATI and being ATI. And ATI is the cream of the crop in the CTC, and they want to be ATI. And then they beat ATI. Looking at Bullard Havens, look at who their losses are to. Bethel, 7-1. Brookfield, 8-0. And Quinnipiac Valley, who just took out Cheney Tech.
Thanks a lot.
I'm going, I'm going Bullard Havens here. They were all over us about no love. They don't give us any love. We don't love Bullard Havens. We don't give them love. I'm giving you love, Bullard Havens. Go out. Prove me wrong.
Don't disappoint us. I'm going Bullard Havens too, Pete. Don't disappoint us, guys. Now I'm on the bandwagon. I'm here with a nice comfy seat. Okay, Josh Headley, take us away, guys. Let's drive the bus.
All right. To the ECC, Fitch 4-4 on the road to play Stonington, who is 6-2 and in a playoff race. Now, Stonington 6-2, their losses, Killingly and Wyndham, those are good losses. Where you look at Fitch, Guildford, Cheshire, the SEC, Killingly, and New London, but Fitch did beat Wyndham, which kind of piques your interest a little bit, but it was 22-21. And then you look at Fitch is an L school, Stonington's an S school. Outside of Killingly, a lot of these smaller schools struggle with playing the bigger schools. Thanks, because of you guys, we have the Alliance. Sean, who do you like in this one? Is Fitch, look, we like Fitch, good coach team, but we love when Stonington's been in the mix the last couple of years, and that's really fun when Stonington's got a shot here.
They needed that game. Yeah, they have a shot. They needed that game last week against Griswold Wheeler of it. Have they beaten anybody here with a winning record? The answer is big fat no. Killingly, Wyndham, granted, two tough teams, but that Wyndham's 7-1. That one loss, Fitch. And Fitch has been in, I don't know where they were against New London, but they'll certainly show up for this one. I'm taking Falcons to beat Stonington. Stonington last year, struggled down the stretch. Now, granted, they needed to beat Griswold Wheeler. I don't think Griswold Wheeler this year is the one of last year. So, but that's in the last year went to the playoffs, obviously.
Yep.
Stonington has had their troubles against winning teams, and I think Fitch is certainly primed to knock them down here. They're going to have to beat, whether if they lose here, Stonington, they're going to have to beat their boys at Westerly, Rhode Island, which was a rout last year. So
and how does that counter to the RPI points in Rhode Island? Do we have approval? Do we
need
to go to the court?
It's done after.
We need to go to. Oh, okay. So we don't need to go to the
that
court.
Whole thing. I don't like that. I hate that. You play your state championships. Oh, let's go. They're going to play Thanksgiving. Get it. I don't like it. But
right.
Tradition's tradition. Go ahead, Pete.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going with Fitch as well. When in doubt, unless it's Killingly, I always try and take the bigger schools in the ECC. Okay, to the FCAC we go. Ridgefield, 3-5. Ridgefield got a shot to finish 500 here with Stamford and Danbury, and I just gave it away. Ridgefield is on the road to play Stamford. Stamford's 0-8. Look, I don't think any of us saw Stamford being 0-8 at this point. They lost their running back before the season started. They lost their quarterback during the season. They had a pretty tough schedule to start. I mean, you look at their losses: Newtown, Greenwich, St. Joe's, Ludlow, Staples, and Trumbull. Those are all potential playoff teams. You got South Windsor and Danbury in there as well as teams that are under 500. But Danbury is a very skilled athletic team.
Oh.
I saw South Windsor. Ethan Burke is one of the better players in the state that no one really talks about because South Windsor is 2-6. This just has not really worked out for Stamford. On the other side, you got Coach Reed in his first year in Ridgefield. They're 3-5. They got wins against Hall, Norwalk, and West Hill, and they've lost to kind of the big dogs of the FCAC. I'm going to go first in this one. I put this on here because I wanted to kind of talk about Stamford a little bit and just kind of like, Donnie does such a great job there. It just wasn't their year in terms of luck and, the injury bug. And Ridgefield, I think, is moving towards something with Coach Reed at the helm. I'm going to pick Ridgefield in this game. This is a game that Ridgefield is going to win. Stamford will have a shot to win on Thanksgiving against West Hill. Sean, who do you got?
Yeah, I think I'm going to pick Ridgefield to go 2-0 versus Stamford. Remember, a few weeks ago, they beat West Hill 42-6. I think Stanford's in a similar boat. That's going to be a fun Thanksgiving game between West Hill and Stanford, especially with Stanford winless by then. We'll see from this game. But I think Ridgefield's just I think Ridgefield's a lot better than the Black Knights at this point. So I'm going to take the Tigers.
All right. To the NVL we go. Crosby 3-5 on the road to play Waterbury Career Academy, who is 5-3. I've seen both of these teams. I might be the only person who doesn't work at the Republican American who has seen both of these teams. Maybe even not. But I assume so. But Waterbury Career, a lot of talent. They've had injuries. Their quarterback was out when I saw them against Torrington, and they lost. But they played in that game. Rivera is a great player. He shouldn't be throwing passes, but he's just a great player. And then Crosby on the other side, Will Rogers, I've talked about on the show. Sean, who do you like in this one for your NVL pick this week?
Yeah, you sure can't pick him, Pete. But I'm going to stay on the Waterbury Career Academy train. They're in a playoff race right now. I don't know what their injury situation was. I mean, like you said, obviously having who was it? Dylan Rossi throwing passes for you.
Yeah.
Not exactly the ideal thing. He's a tight end or an end. Good player, but quarterback. I'm sure they're just like, look, just go with the most athletic guy. But I don't know what this injury situation's like. Hopefully it's okay. If they want to have any shot of getting back to the playoffs like they did last year, they're going to need to win this game. So I like their chances in this one. I'm going to go with the Spartans.
Yeah, I'm going to go with WCA as well. I just think they are that much more talented. All right, to the Pequot. We got, this one's a mouthful. You ready? We got Windsor, Lock, Suffield, East, Granby. That's one school, Rhode Island, or it's one team, 3 schools. They are 3-5. They are 3-5. They are on the road, and they're playing our boys from North Branford. North Branford is 3-4. North Branford, who we have hyped up the last 2 years, 3 years on the show, Hanson and Siegel and the guys and the Thunderbirds, and they haven't been able to get over that hump and get a big win. Look, their wins are against Weaver 1-7, MSW 1-7, Creck 1-6. Yikes. Then Windsor 3-5. They have wins over Creck 1-6, SMSA 1-7, and Coventry 1-7.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do in this one, which is why I put it on the board. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to pick, and I know who I'm picking in this game, and I'm going to go first. And I hope it doesn't burn me again, but I'm going with North Branford. I'm going with the Thunderbirds. I am bearing my soul. I'm ready to get hurt again, guys. I'm ready to get hurt again. I'm going with North Branford. Sean, who do you got?
They're not going to hurt you. Just worth saying here, just to kind of, North Branford are adamant, especially with Salvati at the helm, we are never going to co-op. That said, they are 1 of 1. I mean, Cap Prep is kind of a regional team. You have HK and North Branford, the only 2 teams, really. Weaver. All right, 3 teams in the Pequot Sasakis who are single school teams. Capital Prep is a school of choice, so maybe kind of put them on the other side of it. Then you got, on the other side, you got Rockville, done very well as a 1 school team. They're in Class M, not S. Ellington, double S, they're 1, and the rest of them are all co-ops. So I give North Branford credit trying to make its way in the world today as a Class S school in a Pequot league that is everyone's going co-op. Cromwell Co-op. Valley Regional's been a co-op for at least 15 years. Coggin is now co-op. They got two schools in there. They used to have 3, right? So anyway, that said, I'm going to go with North Branford. I think they're talented. I think, like you said, Hanson's great. They're going to want to go out with a bang here. I don't think Windsor locks, et cetera, mentions up. I like the team.
All right, yeah, I'm going to go North Branford here, too, though. Just putting it out there, if they ever did and they combined it with Morgan, Old Saybrook, and Westbrook, they could be like the Shoreline.
Shoreline All-Stars.
Yeah, but like something with an S. It could be like cool, like the Shoreline Snakes.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Cool. Plenty of swamps down there in the shoreline. Plenty of nice.
Yeah.
Lots of riverbeds. Yeah, that's a good one. The Shoreline Snakes.
Yeah. Snakes. They'd be like a team from those Nickelodeon shows.
The Shoreline Goats. The Shoreline Yard Goats. The Shoreline, think of all the, the Durham Fair and everything, right?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Anyway,
all right. Got 4 more going to the SEC. Cheshire, 4-4 on the road to play West Haven. Cheshire, 4-4. Look at these losses. Darien, North Haven in overtime, Daniel Hand, and they got Notre Dame the weekend. Notre Dame decided they want to be a good team. All right. And then obviously West Haven 7-1. Their only loss came against Greenwich. West Haven's ramping up, but Cheshire's always in the mix. They don't shy away in these games. They're always kind of in the middle. Sean, who do you like? Do you think Cheshire can knock off West Haven and pull off the upset?
The answer is no. I'm going to pick West Haven.
Pretty straightforward. Yep.
I mean, maybe if Matt Jeffrey decided to suit up again. Speaking of Notre Dame, but I mean, look, I think Cheshire's been just a weird team this year, kind of trying to find its identity. They believe they should be playing these games, unlike maybe a few other teams. I like Cheshire, so for the most part. But West Haven, as Coach Rich Boucher said when I saw him over at St. Joseph, we're trying to do what Staples did last year: lose our first, and then go all the way back and win it all. So maybe they'll play Greenwich. Who knows? That'd be great, right? So anyway, I'm going to go with the Westies.
All right. I, too, am going to go with West Haven. I'm going to keep West Haven in my good graces until Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, your boy won't like it if you're off the bandwagon, right?
I know.
You won't like it.
I know. All right, to the SWC. This one is a great one. We got Brookfield 8-0, the big bad Bobcat bullies up front on the road to Monroe to play Masuk, the Panthers, the Walker twins, Nick Fox. I mean, this game has all-state caliber players all over it. And not to mention, forget to mention Aaron Champagne, who's been playing really well for the Panthers under center. Obviously, Brookfield, I said the big bad bullies up front. Tad Ballsy and Michael Walters. And they got other guys, too, who are playing really well. Sean, I'm going to let you go first on this one because you have seen Brookfield.
I haven't seen Masuk.
You haven't seen Masuk? I thought you saw Masuk. Well, you can talk about Brookfield first.
Brookfield's defense is really the guy. I mean, listen, Michael Walters is great. That Ballsy is really good at the quarterback. I mean, they look like the Brookfield of old, right? They don't always throw. They don't need to throw because they got the hammer, man. They got the running out of the pistol, double tights, and great. And it looks like old Masuk Brookfield, which back in the day, man, 2008. We talked about it on the Coach's Corner. Please watch that with Brian Muller. But 2008, we had just an epic, showdown. I think it was week 2 or 3. We had Masuk pegged to win a state championship, which they did. But so did Brookfield that year, and that Brookfield won 31-28 in just a wild back and forth game. And I remember they were all screaming at me after that. You didn't pick us. We're not put us in the Elite Eight, or it was just a mess. And then they lost to Newtown, obviously. Then they beat Newtown. Just crazy. I love this. I love this match. Field back and Masuk back. That said, Masuk being what it is, Pete, I'm going with Masuk.
Yeah.
Really, right. I'm going to go with the listen, I think they've been kind of lying in the weeds, practicing, getting better, getting stronger after they lost to Bunnell. That wasn't us, I'm sure. I think that Brookfield's going to come. It's going to be a great game, man. But I think Masuk's got a few tricks up their sleeves. They want to get back into the state's consciousness here and show them what they're all about going into that Newtown game. Panthers.
you kind of took it all away from me because I was going to bring up this great stat here that this series, though, as you have said, there's been some, great game stuff. This has really been all Masuk. Since 2007. You take out 2014 and 2015, I call those the Bobby Drysdale years, right? Where he's one of the best players in the state.
Where Masuk was kind of in little limbo.
And then it was Masuk. Then Brookfield won in 2018. And then Masuk, because they didn't play for a couple of years. So I'm going with Masuk in this one. I thought I was going to be, not bad guy, but I thought I was going to be the one who took Masuk.
No.
Wow, so we're both going Masuk here. Yeah. That's not how the board is going. I will tell you that. The board is heavy Brookfield, so I feel like you and I are kind of going out on our own there.
I will say this. Masuk, keep your eyes on Chase Sylvia, the junior linebacker. Kid's good. The kid hits. There's some other guys, and the rest of the team kind of goes along with them. They hit, and if you guys are going to show up like Bunnell, think you're going to win, you're not going to win. So, take them seriously. They're very good, Brookfield. I can't wait. I'm scheduled as of now to go. But.
All right. We got two more. Going back to the SCC. Going let me be. That's my rapping. All right. North Haven, 5-3 on the road to Rafferty to play the 7-1 Fairfield Prep Jesuits, who, if any team is being slept on in this state, it's Fairfield Prep. They should be a top 10 team. I am. Every opportunity I get, I'm gonna stand on my pulpit and complain that Fairfield Prep is not a top 10 team. I think it's ridiculous and I think it's stupid. They get North Haven. North Haven is not North Haven of last year. A lot of new faces, but they've played really well in some games. Their losses are to St. Joe's in the opener, Notre Dame West Haven in overtime. Right? Overtime? No, it was close. It was not overtime, but it was came down to the wire. And then to West Haven. I was there
Cheshire in overtime
2 weeks ago. They beat Cheshire in overtime. That was it. And then on the other side, you got Fairfield Prep, whose one loss was to Daniel Hand, and they have since dominated every team that they've played, including a team from Rhode Island, who apparently, according to the CIAC, is a double M school. So I guess we figured that out. Yeah, they have them as a double M 5-4. Okay. So anyway, that's how we figured it out. I'm going to go first in this one. I picked North Haven in the West Haven game, and, I got burned, and West Haven kind of dominated. I think North Haven is a really good team, and this game is, I think, like you said, this might be a must-win for them, but I think Fairfield Prep is playing so well right now. I think their defense is so good. I think they can, Robbie Manning is playing really well. My guy, Finbar Malloy, is having an amazing time running all around the field. I think he caught, 2 or 3 touchdowns last week, and Mason Frey is still Mason Frey. So I'm going with Fairfield Prep in this one. Sean, who do you like?
Fairfield Prep is criminally underrated right now. Criminally underrated. Guys, open your eyes. They had one stinker against Hand. You're voting Hand number 2. 2! You're all voting number Hand. I mean, where's Prep? They're outside looking in right now behind West Haven. Don't think they don't notice this, guys. The North Haven's, that's the worst thing about this. North Haven's got to win to get in, or needs to win out in order to defend its title. Preps, meanwhile, was sharpening its claws, saying what do we got to do here? I guess we got to beat North Haven up. So look out! I'm going with the Jesuits.
Yeah, just quickly on Fairfield Prep. We did this at the beginning and we got burned. Don't burn us this time, guys.
Yeah, guys. Right. Yeah, we put all our faith in you. And then this is how you're a path. I was off the bandwagon for a while. You were that. You were.
They never fell out of my top 10.
Yeah, I dumped them. I dumped them out, probably. But then once they won back, then all right. But now I have them at 4 or 5.
All right, ready for the last one?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, to the Pequot. This might be the most exciting game, or right up there with Brookfield and Masuk. Cromwell Portland 7-1 on the road to Vernon to play Rockville. Rockville 7-0. These two teams, you got a lot of storylines. Sal Morello, first year back at Cromwell Portland. Listen to the Coach's Corner. He is the guest this week. Obviously, Rockville 7-0, but look, their best player from a year ago transferred out. Here they are, still 7-0. And they got guys, God, Brady Ramsdale, the quarterback, Jonathan Kasamba, the D lineman. They got other guys too, and obviously Cromwell Portland has guys that we talked about with Coach on the Coacher Show. I mean, this game is like the cream of the crop of the Pequot. Obviously, Capital Prep is 8-0, and they already beat Cromwell. Portland and Rockville does not cross over with Capital Prep this year, but these are two of the three best teams in the Pequot going at it. I'm going to go first in this one. I'm just going to go quick. I'm taking Rockville. I'm wearing the shirt.
Wow.
It's a big game. Ring that
There
bell. So I'm going
Get
with
that hidden
the
during the
Rams.
grinder, huh?
No, it was open. It was open a little bit. I am not wearing it on the Coacher Show. I can promise you that.
Yeah.
With Coach Morello, but I'm ringing that bell this week. I'm going with Rockville.
Pete, I'm going to go with Rockville too. I saw. I think Cromwell Portland's obviously well coached. They got dudes. They had a night. They by all rights should have been out of that game versus HK. HK was ready to kind of pull that away. Took a nice defensive stop there. We showed it all over last week. The big hit, and then the fumble, and then they had the nice TD by Jack Nolan at the end. But this, I think, I saw Rockville play Guilford in the preseason, and I'm like, man, they're not going to be the same team this year, are they? But then again, Kasamba was out. He wasn't playing that game. He's obviously a game changer on defense. A good-looking kid. I mean, Brady Ramsdale's been there forever, feels like. But I'm going to go with them. Where is it anyway? Where is this game?
It's at Rockville.
At Rockville. So there you go, home team. Going with the Ram. Watch.
All right. Well, hopefully this is a much better week for us. We did not differentiate on any game this week.
Oh, wow. How about that? All right.
I honestly,
Where you go, I go, Pete.
I pegged us for the Brookfield Masuk game being the game that we flip. I thought you were going to go with
No.
All right. Well, at least you're out
I
there.
think Brookfield's great, though.
So do I.
Surprised.
But I think Masuk is really good, and I feel like we kind of stopped talking. A lot of people stopped talking.
Masuk, man, sat on that New Canaan loss like they were the kings of the world.
New Canaan win, yeah.
That's two Titanic references. The 5 minutes and 2 minutes for me. But what's it called? They thought they were the kings. Like, I mean, guys, they didn't show up against Benell, and then they played a bunch of, Ulster and Sense, right? I mean, what was Masuk's last big game?
Well, right? Bethel by record.
I mean, does that?
Anyhow,
now we get to find out about Masuk. So I'm really excited to see that game. So anyway,
yeah, me too.
Let's go.
All right, for Sean Patrick Bowley, I do that every week. I'm Pete Paguaga. This has been the GameTimeCT Pick'ems podcast. We will see you out at the games this week.
Peace.